Do you ever feel like you have a lot of friends, but you still feel like you don't fit in? Do you feel like the friend that just exists in the group chat, but doesn't really do anything? Have you ever had a best friend before? Because I haven't, and that's what I want to talk about today. Well, not best friends specifically, but just this feeling. I don't know about you guys, but I have this feeling of being part of multiple friend groups, but not fully fitting in, connecting, or fully belonging. And I didn't really understand why until I saw a video talking about the floater friend effect on Instagram. And after watching that video, I feel like everything started to make sense now. So today, I'm gonna talk about it, because why not? And maybe it'll help people too. A floater friend, according to Urban Dictionary, is a person who knows a lot of people, but isn't really close with any of them, and they don't really have a real connection with others. If you felt like a lot of people know you, or you're chill with everyone, but you're not necessarily close to any of them, this is what you're probably experiencing. This is similar to loneliness in a way, but a floater friend has basic human connection, whereas loneliness is just complete isolation and disconnect. A lot of people don't know about this effect or notice it because it's not that noticeable. If you think about it, floater friends are usually very popular or well loved by a lot of people. Everyone likes and respects them. They're a very chill person, and they never start drama. It's like being the popular kid in the movies, except that person's not a dick to everyone. A floater friend usually looks happy and like the perfect friend everyone worships, but deep down, they're questioning if they're truly belonging or if they're just a filler friend. Their personal stats are great across everything, but there's not one specific stat that stands out to others. They're not the funny one, they're not the Einstein of the group, they're not in the loop with trends, anything other people are doing. They just feel left out, to be honest. To others, they're not a bad person. In fact, they're very dependable and trusting. But to them, there's better and more interesting people. You know how in games, everyone picks that one character with one crazy stat everyone hypes up, but when someone takes it, or it's not available, or it's not as good as it seemed, they just settle for one that's not bad, but it doesn't have that crazy OP power up or move. That's how a floater friend feels every day, and no one knows about it. Creating and keeping close friendships are tough, with 49% of Americans reporting having 3 or less close friends in their life right now, according to a Mastermind Behavior article. Not having a lot of friends isn't a bad thing. In fact, I think it just makes the friendships closer, but it also shows that making friends is a lot harder now. Floater friends always feel at least some exclusion from the groups they're in. It's like they're let in the group, but they have some restrictions. Kind of like how when your parents force you to play with your little siblings or cousins, but you don't let them touch your toys or games. Now, I understand people don't want to share everything, and they want to keep certain things between the few people they trust the most a secret, and that's fine, that's normal. But floater friends feel excluded in a lot of the things the group talks about or does. It shows up in asking friends to hang out, but then they make an excuse only to see them post hang out with the rest of the group hours later. It shows up in not understanding or being caught up with the latest trends, movies, or anything the rest of the group already saw and did. They're always late to finding out about drama, news, or gossip, which, I mean, I guess that's a good thing sometimes, because some drama's just really dumb. Like, let's be so for real. Like, some drama, I don't even know how it happens, but it's just so stupid. But it still feels weird that no one told them anything. Like, they're always the last people to find out about it. Any inside jokes friends create, floater friends don't get. They always ask what it meant or laugh at them even though no one asked them to. Or worse, they're the punching bag of the group. Every friend group has that one person that's easy to pick on or make jokes about. And okay, sometimes it's funny, but when it happens all the time, not only is it dumb and annoying, but for some, it actually hurts. Floater friends would never say how they truly feel because they don't want to lose that connection with that friend or group, or feel like they would just get mocked either way and make things worse for themselves, and then get outed by everyone to the rest of the group, or even more people that they don't even know about. But, you know, it's fine. Everything's fine. No, it's not. I've had this happen to me before, and one time it was actually pretty recent, like not too long ago. For me, I usually let things go pretty quickly. I hate holding grudges against people, and I just want everything to be like fine and happy as quick as possible. But I do feel a little annoyed when people treat what I said or I feel and just ignore it or treat it as a joke or say that I lost aura and then yap about it to everyone. I know I'm not perfect, like no one's perfect, but sometimes it's just a little annoying and sometimes it slightly hurts. I'm trying not to care as much about what people say, and I feel like I've gotten better, but it's still hard, and every floater friend knows this feeling. Especially if you're a D1 people pleaser. Even if it hurts, floater friends don't want to lose that connection, so they just shut the fuck up and deal with their pain. No one's gonna sugarcoat anything in the real world anyway, so isn't this just preparing them for that? This just makes a person feel like even more of a bot, even though they're kind of an NPC to some people already. NPCs are very dry. They use formal language in casual conversations, which it's not always a bad thing, but it feels weird to many. They don't know how to keep a conversation going or what to talk about, and they use a lot of one-word responses or are very vague. Floater friends aren't fully like this, as they understand social cues and can at least hold a basic conversation for the most part with some people, but there's some parts of an NPC that kind of overlap with floater friends. No matter how popular or loved floater friends are, they're never the main character. They might be a popular side character, but they're never the main one that's always talked about or the center of attention in any group, or at least feeling like a core part of it. However, they provide so much value than friends and friend groups realize. Floater friends are very adaptable because they're forced to be. They can easily make friends and share simple common interests to light a conversation and create a new bond. Combined with the fact that most floater friends are calm, nice, caring, and empathetic, it's easy to let them in and be part of the group. Any drama or problems that happen, the floater friend's there to mediate and make sure the group doesn't fight or fall apart. And this stuff is great and it's very important to a friend group, but it's kind of overshadowed by the fact that they're a little awkward in trying to make a deep connection. Floater friends already laid out the foundation, but they struggle with going deeper, because after the initial stuff, what do you talk about? One of the weak stats floater friends have is establishing a deep connection. They're part of the group, but they don't fully feel included, and they feel a lot of FOMO. And after a while, it's hard for them to hold a conversation, especially one-on-one conversations, which that's me like half the time, but you know, it's fine. I've been trying to get better at it. They usually feel comfortable talking if someone else is carrying the conversation, but even then, sometimes it's still hard to find an opening to insert yourself in the conversation or relate to what everyone else is saying. This constant struggle is why floater friends have so many friend groups. If one fails or feels awkward, they try to jump to the next group and see if everything works out and they can actually like get into a group and be like an integral part of it, but a lot of times that doesn't happen. And floater friends go through an endless cycle of just attempting, thinking they broke through, but then realizing that they didn't, and they just repeat it all over again. And they keep doing that until they either get into a group, which is really hard for them, or until they give up. And the worst part about this, floater friends still don't fully feel seen or heard. People see them like physically, but they don't understand them, and they just assume that that person might be too sensitive or emotional, or think that, you know, everything's just perfect for them, so there's nothing wrong with them. But floater friends feel like they're abnormal and weird, and they just want to feel normal. Floater friends feel so much more than people realize. They felt everything a lonely person felt, but also have a conflicting identity crisis to hide their feelings, to show everyone that everything's fine, when they're fighting and punishing themselves for no reason, other than the fact that they suck and that they're a bad friend. The floater friend is one of those friends that would understand and take the time to listen to you yap, rant, or listen to any problems that you have, even if they don't know you like that. They're the friends that genuinely want to spend time with you and get to know you for who you are, but they just don't know how to do it sometimes. But they give all this kindness and warmth to others, but they never receive it back when they need it the most. No one ever asks them if they're genuinely okay, what happened if they had a bad day, or even just randomly texting them just to call. Which is why I guess whenever someone does do that eventually, floater friends assume that all their other friends are just busy, so they were the last option. Floater friends try to do everything to make a connection. They help people with work, they do tasks for the group, they resolve conflicts, they organize hangouts, they reach out to call, but no one sees his effort. No one knows or sees how hard they're trying. No one understands the internal pain they're going through because they wouldn't get it. They wouldn't understand the constant adapting they do just to fit in, doing something the rest of the group did without them just to have something to talk about, and constantly pleasing and glazing others just to feel like you're an integral part of the groups you're in. Sadly, a lot of people never even think about this or any of the positives. They only see the negatives or losses or dumb shit you said or did, and they consistently use it against you. It's like that one story. A professor holds up a white paper with a black dot and asks the students to share what they notice. All of them notice the black dot and not the vast white space. That white space represents all the efforts and good floater friends put in, but that black dot of mistakes and failures is something the group always remembers. Not just because of the negativity bias, but also because it was funny to them, even if it wasn't for you. At least there's one person you can fall on if the main group fucks you over, right? I've never had a best friend, and I always wondered why. I knew a lot of people, but I could never get that close with a person, and I felt like I missed out. I know I have my whole life ahead, but I still feel like I never got the full best friend experience, doing and sharing everything with each other, and just having the best time with that one person. Having a best friend for floater friends is almost impossible, because best friends require a deep connection, and like I said earlier, it's hard to create one, especially if friends already have their close friends they've known since pre-K or whenever they knew them. I don't know, I felt like I've never shared enough traits, or watched enough things to feel like I fully fit in sometimes. I guess I found it hard to get comfortable with anyone to feel like I could just fully let myself loose. I don't know how many people have felt this, but I didn't really know anyone else that felt like this. And that's why I made this video. I always thought something was a little off with me, because how can you know and be chill with a lot of people, but still feel dry and mid at the same time? How do you feel like you can talk to others, but you can't half the time? I've had thoughts like this for a while, and literally after watching that video on Reels, everything just made sense now. I've been trying to improve my social skills and really connecting with others as much as possible. And while it's not perfect, I've seen improvements, which I'm proud of. And I want to tell you guys that if you have a feeling like this or something similar, you might be going through this, and that's valid. That's okay. You're valid for going through this and feeling this, and I know things will get better. I know it's confusing and it really hurts a lot sometimes, but I promise you things will get better. If you feel like you need to vent or rant, go ahead. The comments is a safe space, and if you just need to say anything, just say it. Like, spill your feelings. I want to listen to them. I want to hear your stories. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you felt either more understood or you've learned something new today. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.